Now, the following that we're about to hear is a fascinating account that I came across having to do with the cyclical nature of these issues. This was from a report, a series of first-hand accounts gathered by the Immigration Policy Center for a recent report examining the parallels between SB 1070 and the attempted legislation by a small town in Pennsylvania. On July 13, 2006, the city council in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, frustrated at what they saw as Washington's inaction and led by the town's outspoken mayor, Louis J. Barletta, read by Stephen Yoakum, who, the mayor, not Steve, wore a bulletproof vest that he explained was necessary for his safety, adopted the Illegal Immigration Relief Act ordinance. Now, this ordinance made English the official city language. It imposed fines on landlords for renting to illegal immigrants and revoked business permits of employers who hired them. Now, in this report, these first-hand accounts were gathered over coffee and omelets. Barletta and two of his closest associates, Council President Joseph Yannuzzi, read by Emil Herrera, and the owner of a computer firm, and pharmacist John Keegan, another city councilman, described their frustrations with the town's transformation.
So you had a nice home, a modest home that you've taken care of your entire life, and all of a sudden, next door, all of a sudden, someone new buys it. And now there's 15 people in this house, and you can call City Hall to complain, and we're sending people down for violations time and time again.
It was obvious. You'd ride down the street and see a home with 10 satellite dishes. 5 on each side, which meant that in every room in that house, there was somebody living there. It was as a family. That's code violations right there.
Believe me, I didn't just wake up one day and say, this happened over years of seeing what was happening in our neighborhoods. We had more and more cases of incidents involving illegal aliens. Our violent crime is beginning to rise. We started noticing more gang activity, more need for greater police presence, and for more money for law enforcement. Yeah. I never say that illegal aliens commit all the crimes. I never attribute all these problems to illegal aliens. What I do say is that there's a drain on the city's budget, and this very fragile city budget affects the quality of life of our ability to protect the people of this community.
How they dealt with their conflicts in their country is what they brought in dealing with conflicts here. And it's not the way we deal with conflicts. I don't know if terror is the right word, but it's the concern of the community because you didn't bring out a knife and gun to settle a conflict.
Yeah, the final straw for me was May 10th in 2006. We arrested a 14-year-old for shooting a gun into a crowded playground. He was here illegally. That night, his 29-year-old Derek Kitchline was working on his pickup truck, and he was shot between the eyes by 2 individuals. Our police worked 36 straight hours in apprehending those who took Kitchline's life. Our police department spent over half of our yearly budget for overtime for that one homicide. Our overtime in the police department was 150% over budget, and we still don't have enough police to cover the streets that we've got now.
They came here to become American. They came here to assimilate. The grandparents spoke Italian only when they didn't want you to know what was going on. We're in America. You speak English. That's what was told to us by our grandmother and all. And that was the difference. Today they're immigrating here for the benefits. I can't blame them. But they're looking for more than just benefits.
You know, people ask me, they say, don't you have compassion for those who came here? Of course. I'd sneak into this country too if my family depended on it. But we're seeing small-town America, the life being taken out of it because we don't have the money to deal with the problem.
Hazleton's 2006 Illegal Immigration Relief Act ordinance, a year after its adoption, a district court judge found it unconstitutional. Here's Judge James Munley's decision.
Whatever frustrations officials of the city of Hazleton may feel about the current state of the federal immigration enforcement, the nature of the political system in the United States prohibits the city from enacting ordinances that disrupt a carefully drawn federal statutory scheme.
Now, the city appealed the injunction, and the appeal was led by attorney Chris W. Kobash, who also helped draft the Arizona Ordinance. Just last month, on September 9th, the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit upheld the order. Amilcar Arroyo, the Peruvian-born editor of El Mensajero, a monthly Spanish-language newspaper in Hazleton, reflected,
You know what will be the funny part to this one? And I hope I'm wrong. I say, God, tell me that I'm wrong. You know what's going to happen? This Hispanic people of the second or third generation, they will forget, so that the next wave of immigrants to this area probably, they will have the same problems as I have. And they will be doing the same as they did. The same generation of Irish, Italians, Polish people to this Hispanic people who came now. Because it's like, it's a cycle. But I hope that doesn't happen. I hope so.
but it has happened before, actually in Hazleton. Between 1880 and 1900, the percentage of settlers from Eastern, Southern, and Central Europe jumped from 2 to 46% of all immigrants. Social and ethnic conflicts flared. Old-timers derided the, quote, filthy habits and queer languages, unquote, of the foreigners. In 1922, the U.S. government reported the following.
Perhaps the most obvious result of the racial mixture is to be seen in the incapacity of the local government and wasteful administration of public funds. Among the Italians, violence is more the result of quick temper than intoxication. The Italians resort most often to the use of knives in the act of violence. The fact is, there are some respected citizens in all the races, except possibly the Italians. The average English-speaking person regards all of the immigrants as purchasable, ignorant, and vicious in a high degree. The large number of Germans in Hazleton in 1880 made it almost a bilingual town. Attorneys and doctors advertised their ability to hold consultations in either English or German.